From dimensions to pretensions, the OPPO Reno 10x zoom is a pretty close contender to the well-known Huawei P30 Pro here. Both are Chinese, though obviously from rival stables. Both feature 40 megapixel plus main cameras plus stabilized mirrored periscope 5x telephoto cameras. Both have decent enough optical, though still not as reliable as capacitive, insert my usual rant, in-screen fingerprint sensors, 1080p AMOLED screens, a distinct lack of 3.5mm audio jacks and 8GB of RAM. The P30 Pro, as I film this, is down from about £800 to around £700, the exact same price as the Reno 10 Zoom, which is a little unfortunate for the newcomer since in many ways it's the poor man's P30 Pro, and it's important to look at the features and components in some detail to work out which device, if any, wins. Let's keep this rapid fire. Display. The P30 Pros definitely has the edge outdoors in the sun, for example taking photos with higher contrast and clarity. The OPPO does feature Gorilla Glass 6, which is new, but that's just a number at this point. Battery. The P30 Pro wins again with a larger battery and the now legendary Huawei battery life from its Kirin chipset. The OPPO has a Snapdragon 855, but it definitely depletes faster. Charging. The P30 Pro wins again with 40-watt fast charging and crucially Qi wireless charging, which I love so much. Storage. Well, the OPPO has the edge here. I know I was sent the 256GB version for review, but you can also put in a bog standard micro SD in the second SIM slot as opposed to P30 Pro's proprietary nano memory slot. I've still not seen an NM card in real life in the flesh. Audio. The P30, wins again with better analog audio through the Type-C port and with a meatier sounding mono speaker. The OPPO has in theory stereo speakers, but the left channel out of the earpiece is anemic and effectively gives you a right channel only mono sound. Here's a demo. This is Bowie on stage with David Gilmour, believe it or not. Full volume on the OPPO Reno 10x zoom. What you can't really pick up on the video is how almost all the sound is out of the bottom stroke right channel, which for stereo means you're only actually picking up half the music. You do get Type-C headphones included in the box, which is good, but they're pretty cheap and nasty in terms of audio quality. But what about the cameras, I hear you ask? The clue's in the device name. Well, yes, and I did like quite a lot of what the Reno 10x zoom shot. See the samples here. The periscope zoom works almost as well as the P30 Pros. The wide-angle ditto, plus the image processing was less heavy-handed in low light in terms of noise reduction and smearing details. But the word almost is important, since across all subjects and most light levels, the P30 Pro took a clearer and better shot. Possibly the Leica optics, possibly more mature image processing generally. So, again, a P30 Pro win, I'm afraid. The video recording, well, sorry again, the P30 Pro records video very happily with the telephoto lens up to 15x zoom with a little software help. But the Reno is stuck, shooting on the main sensor only. Here's a demo. Test video on the Reno 10x zoom. Unfortunately, you don't get the telephoto, the prism periscope camera in video mode. All you get is a 2x digital on that 48 megapixel sensor. I mean, it's decent enough, but it would have been nice, P30 Pro style, to use the periscope. Oh well. Now what about ruggedness? The P30 Pro is IP68 water and dust proof. Terrific. The Reno has no rating whatsoever, though I'll admit that doesn't prove it's not waterproof, and the card slot certainly has a gasket around the entrance, so still no rating, no cigar. On the software level, both are Android 9, of course, though ColorOS here doesn't seem to be as mature as Huawei's EMUI. Dialogues which aren't really necessary, such as asking permissions for files to be accessed from the phone's internal storage. And settings and many other apps staying resolutely white, even with a dark theme installed. Plus there's no app drawer. Everything you install appears on the main home screens. I can live with this, but I know others who will complain. I really wanted to like the OPPO Reno 10x zoom, the camera specialism, the light-handed image processing, the lovely case here included in the box. But at a P30 Pro-like price, it had better be as good as the Huawei device across the board. And it's not, by quite a way. If OPPO were to sell this at £500, undercutting the P30 Pro significantly, then we'd have a decision to make. As it is, the Huawei contender walks all over the OPPO phone, and I, with a heavy heart and an audible sigh, can't recommend the Reno 10x zoom overall. Just a note of frustration from me about how the phone world is going. This is August 2019. Hardware niggles are building up. In-screen fingerprint sensors that don't work as well as capacitive ones, not in the user's best interest, but they're being implemented anyway. So-called waterfall screens that fall away and cover most of the sides of a phone, not in the user's best interest in terms of holding the device and managing false touch actions, but they're being implemented anyway. No more 3.5mm audio jack, so no more plugging into aux cables, no more plugging in external microphones or even shock horror headphones. Not in the user's best interest, but the jack is going anyway. Notches and cutouts in screens, not in the user's best interest, they're here anyway. Super fast charging with manufacturers racing to beat the figures of others, not in the user's best interest, since there will be damage to battery longevity. And don't we all charge overnight anyway? But it's being implemented anyway. And with my Samsung hat on, no more heart and oxygen sensors. I use these every day on the S9 Plus. Shooting this, again, very definitely not in the user's best interest, but they're being dropped anyway, and they're not present on the new Note 10 range. We're in something of a phone design crazy period, I contend. Put all of these factors together and smartphones of late 2019 and 2020 aren't going to be as useful, usable or functional as the phones we had last year in 2018. Is it just me bemoaning these design directions? Do please write in with your opinions and I'll feature your responses on the Phone Show Chat companion podcast.